So, should you stay with the free version of ChatGPT or should you upgrade to the paid version? Because the free version already does quite a lot. But depending on how you use ChatGPT, the paid version may give you some extra features that make it well worth the money. Now, obviously, you don't want to pay for something you're barely going to use, but at the same time, paying for ChatGPT could make it a whole lot more useful. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you actually get with the paid version of ChatGPT so you can quickly tell whether or not it's right for you. Now, before we get into the details of the paid version of ChatGPT, let me just say this. The free version of ChatGPT is actually pretty darn good. You can still ask questions, write things, brainstorm ideas, upload files, and even create images just like you can with the paid version. So it's not like the free version is useless and the paid version is the only good option. However, there are some features in the paid version of ChatGPT that might matter enough to you to make it worth paying for. So let's walk through those one by one. The first big difference is with usage limits. With the free version of ChatGPT, you get access to a lot of the same core features as the paid version, but only up to a point. If you just pop in here and there, ask ChatGPT a quick question, or clean up an email, or brainstorm a quick idea or two, you'll probably never hit the limit. But when you need to really dig into something of substance, that's where the free version can start to become a problem. For example, let's say you're a business owner trying to figure out why your website is not converting. I guarantee that's going to be more than a 30-second conversation. You would start by asking ChatGPT some questions. You upload some copy. Then you ask it to rewrite a few sections. Then you go back and forth a few times with ChatGPT to perfect your ideas. Then you ask ChatGPT to help you prioritize what to fix first, second, and third. Next thing you know, 30, 40, even 60 minutes or more go by because you're in the zone. And that's when usage limits start to matter. Because when you're in the middle of making real progress with ChatGPT, the last thing you want is for everything to come to a screeching halt because you just hit the limit on the free plan. Now, if you only plan on using ChatGPT casually or occasionally, you'll probably never run into the limit and you'll be just fine. But if you want to use ChatGPT as a serious part of your workday to help you solve problems and work through ideas, I know I would be extremely annoyed if it abruptly stopped in the middle of an important session just because I hit a usage limit and my time basically expired. The second big difference between the free and paid versions of ChatGPT is the quality and strength of the AI models you're allowed to use. And in plain English, a model is basically the AI brain doing the work behind the scenes. With the free version, yes, you can absolutely get a lot done with it. But with the paid version of ChatGPT, you get access to more advanced AI models and higher limits on those models. Now, if all you ever use ChatGPT for is quick, simple stuff like asking basic questions, cleaning up an email, or brainstorming a few ideas, you'll probably do just fine with the free version. But if you need ChatGPT to do deeper, more complicated thinking and to evaluate multiple options or help you think through something with a lot of nuance, that's where stronger AI models start to matter. For example, let's say you're trying to make a big business decision. Maybe you're thinking about hiring somebody. Maybe you're thinking about raising your prices. Maybe you're trying to decide whether to add a new service. That's a very different kind of conversation than just asking for 10 blog post ideas. Because now you're asking ChatGPT to think through trade-offs that could have a direct impact on your business, which means ChatGPT needs to look at different angles, needs to spot possible weak points, needs to play devil's advocate and perhaps bring up a few things you hadn't thought of yet. That kind of back and forth works a whole lot better when you're using a stronger AI model. So if you need ChatGPT to help you think through more serious decisions and more complicated problems, getting access to stronger AI models may be worth paying for. The third big difference between the free and paid versions of ChatGPT is file uploads and document analysis. Yes, you can absolutely upload files and analyze documents with the free version of ChatGPT. The question is, how much of that work can you actually do before the free version puts on the brakes? If uploading a file is just something you do once in a while, the free version will probably be just fine for you. But if working with files is a regular part of how you use ChatGPT, things change pretty fast. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, says free users are limited to 3 file uploads per day, and those limits can be even lower during peak usage hours. And 3 files is not very much. I know for me, if I'm analyzing some Facebook ad campaigns with ChatGPT, I could easily blow through 3 file uploads in the first 10 minutes. So for me, having the ability to upload as many files as I need to ChatGPT is worth the price of admission. Now, if you only upload a file once in a blue moon, you'll probably be just fine with the free version. But if you regularly use ChatGPT to help you read documents, analyze spreadsheets, review screenshots, compare files, or make sense of real data, the free version is probably not going to cut it for you. The fourth big difference between the free and paid version of ChatGPT is memory, projects, and continuity. This one may not sound like a big deal at first, but it can make a very big difference in how useful ChatGPT feels over time. Basically what this means is, does ChatGPT feel like a brand new employee on the first day of the job every time you open a new chat, or does it feel like it already knows you and what you've been working on and what matters to you? Now, if you just use ChatGPT here and there for one-off questions, this feature may not matter much to you. But if you're using ChatGPT as an ongoing work tool, this is almost for sure going to be important to you, and here's why. Let's say you're working on something over several days. Maybe it's a writing project, maybe it's a business plan, maybe it's a set of ideas you're trying to organize to improve your business. In situations like that, it's extremely helpful when ChatGPT does not feel like it has amnesia every time you start a new conversation. This is where projects and memory come in. Projects help you keep related chats and files together in one location instead of having them scattered all over the place. And memory helps ChatGPT remember useful context so you do not feel like you have to keep re-explaining yourself from scratch every time. So if you want ChatGPT to feel more like an ongoing assistant that stays organized and remembers what you're doing, this is one of the areas where the paid version may be worth it. The fifth big difference between the free and paid versions of ChatGPT is custom GPTs. A custom GPT is basically a specialized version of ChatGPT that you set up for a specific purpose. Now, if you're perfectly happy using the standard normal version of ChatGPT to answer your questions, then the free version is probably just fine. But if you want ChatGPT to handle certain tasks in a certain way over and over, setting up a custom GPT can save you a bunch of time and give you more consistent results. For example, maybe you want a GPT that takes messy meeting notes and always turns them into clean action items, deadlines, and next steps. Or maybe you want a GPT that reviews customer emails and drafts calm, polite replies in your style. Or maybe you want a GPT that looks at screenshots of your Facebook ads and gives you the same structured feedback every single time. This is where custom GPTs become useful. Think of a custom GPT like a staff member or consultant who is already trained up for one specific job. You give the input and it already knows what to do. You do not have to keep coaching it up from scratch every single time. So if you want the ability to create your own specialized custom GPTs to handle specific tasks, you will need the paid version. Those are the main differences between the free and paid versions of ChatGPT. If you mostly use ChatGPT casually, if you only ask it the occasional question, if you're not running into limit restrictions, if you're not uploading and analyzing a lot of files, and if you do not need stronger AI models, additional memory, projects, or custom GPTs, then the free version is probably all you need. But if you're using ChatGPT as a serious work tool, if you rely on it to help you think through real business problems and decisions, if you want access to stronger AI models, if you're uploading and analyzing a lot of files regularly, if you want more continuity from one chat thread to the next so you're not dealing with chat amnesia, or if you want the ability to create your own custom GPTs, then the paid version of ChatGPT is probably what you want. Again, for some people, the free version is plenty. But for other people, $20 a month is a small price to pay for a tool they're going to use constantly and get a lot of value from. So if you've been on the fence about upgrading to the paid version of ChatGPT, hopefully now you have a much clearer picture of the differences between the free and paid versions of ChatGPT.